What up?
Well, well, well. Nice to see you here today. What brings you in, Dr.
No,
Zach?
I thought we were recording today.
Oh, are we?
Yeah,
I didn't see it on the...
I sent you a text message last night. Today's the day we're actually gonna do 055.
055.
Yep.
Which one? Which one's that one again?
It's the fuck. What is it? Which one is it?
Oh, the one with the thing, or does it have the thing?
I think it's not round. That's all I remember. What? Do you remember what the number was?
Was it 610?
No, we did 610. You remember 610?
I remember 610. I remember giving a guy a wet willy.
Did you wet his willy?
What were we covering again?
We were gonna record something though. I don't think it was too important. But while we have you,
Well, we're both here.
yeah, while I have you here, I know that we're planning on doing 049 soon. I tried to get a hold of the file, but I couldn't find it. So
Yeah, it is a big one. We should probably make sure we're doing it justice.
Yeah.
So
I figure since we were going to be together anyway today, I figure we would just kind of do a quick planning session for it.
yeah. Hey, do you have any of those Pringles?
No, actually, I ate them all yesterday. I'm kind of bent up about it.
Damn.
I was actually going to go to Safeway later today, so I'll probably pick up a can there.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess search away. I'll just sit here and watch you work like I always do.
You're not going to help me?
Zach, when have I ever been more than a hindrance to you?
Yeah, points for self-awareness, I guess.
Yeah.
So what do we know about?
From what I remember,
What do we know about 049?
From what I remember about 049, he's like, is he Euclid, Keter?
I think he's Euclid.
I mean, he's just a guy, right? He's safe.
No, he's definitely Euclid. I think there was some talk about moving to Keter at some point, but I think that depends on which timeline you're in. So the gist with 049 is that we found this dude in the south of France. We tried to speak in French to him, but he seems to understand English well enough. He is looking for this pestilence. We've asked him if it's the plague, and he doesn't know what that is. So it's not that. But when he tries to quote-unquote cure someone, he basically just turns them into a zombie. And is quite proud of it, which I guess I would be too. Ethics aside, I think that'd be kind of neat.
Oh, this is ringing bells now. This is the guy that has a bunch of fan art about him, right?
049 has a surprising amount of hentai about him.
What's your favorite story of him?
I don't really like him. I don't think he's that neat personally. But he's popular for whatever reason I don't understand.
No. I mean, what's your favorite story of him?
My favorites. Elaborate.
Hentai, Zach.
Oh, out of all my predilections, 049 isn't one of them. I am not sexually attracted to plague doctors.
Yeah, fair enough.
You sound like you have an opinion, though.
Yeah. I dabbled in my time. Oh, plague me, mighty plaguer. That one's a personal favorite of mine.
Plague me, daddy.
Or I woke up in bed, rolled over, and I saw a bird beak in my face. Yeah, that one's a true classic.
When you see a...
Any luck on the file over there?
No. Asshole. So, just kind of thinking on it, this pestilence, it kind of reminds me, the only thing he's, removing is basically humanity and sentience. I wonder if there's any, indirect ties to, the lizard.
That would be interesting.
I feel like that's been speculated on a few times, but I don't know if it's how deeply that's been delved.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know. My first thought is like, isn't this the whole conceit of Jeffrey Dahmer's entire serial killer existence? Is doing this?
No.
Making zombies?
No, so the thing with Jeffrey Dahmer is that he was liquefying people's brains so that they wouldn't leave him.
Okay,
if I recall correctly.
I guess, tomato.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're ultimately making a vegetable regardless.
Yeah.
The other thing about 049 is that the way he kills people is that it's via touch, but it's basically instantaneous death when he touches you.
Oh.
And so, but like every time we've tried to like dissect a person who's been killed that way, we don't really get too much results. It's like they just immediately die without like just.
I'm not sure about that one, Zach. I'm not sure about that one because I've definitely shook this guy's hand at one point. Any SCP I come across, I try to shake their hand.
Caleb, if someone told me you were technically dead this entire time, I would believe them.
Oh, what if this entire time you've only been speaking into a mic yourself and the audience only hears half the conversation? Because I'm just a haunting of your reality.
It would explain a lot, like mostly how you're no help at all.
I'm a help. I'm here providing you entertainment. You can listen to a podcast or listen to music while you search for this file. No, you get to hear my incoherent ramblings.
There are a lot of there's a number of SCPs that just make zombies.
Wasn't there a Harold Holt that was a zombie?
There's a lot of Harold Holts. There was one that was a skeleton that I know that we were pretty excited about.
Yeah, that one is a personal favorite of mine.
I still can't get over the one that went to the communist dolphins. Shook fins with flipper marks.
There was one that you brought up during that episode. It was using molasses-based witchcraft or something like that.
Yeah, so that's tied to another molasses-based SCP, which I kind of want...
The fact that there's an entire subgenre.
Right, like, I kind of just wonder sometimes about all these, like, uncategorized subcategories.
Yeah.
Molasses magic.
Yeah. That brings up a good point.
Yeah.
Zach, what's your favorite SCP we've covered so far? Including the fourth wall breaking episode 1.
Oh, I think that's a different timeline. So I don't think that was us.
Oh.
Don't think too hard about that.
I don't think hard at all.
I know you don't. What is a fun one we've done? Tall Bees. I think Tall Bees is actually honestly one of my favorites.
Okay.
There might be some recency bias there, but boy, were there some Tall Bees.
I mean, it doesn't have to be your favorite, because, 610 is not my favorite episode that we've done, even though it might be my favorite SCP, but, I think the Pizza of Mass Destruction, that one was a fun one.
That was a good one. I enjoyed that. That was fun.
Yeah.
I think if just in terms of whether or not it made a good episode, one thing, I guess the way I want to take that question honestly is the interdimensional nasal cavity.
That one's fun. I think that one is the perfect balance of we talked about the article, and then we made some silly little jokes about it, and then we put on our tinfoil hats and tried to say that the SCP was actually a nail all along.
Right, which is...
And not the, Nazi bunker in somebody's nose.
Which is a statement and a hypothesis I stand by. But I also just don't know why it's one of our our most watched episodes. I would really like to know why.
Another really fun one that I really enjoyed was, as much as you and I look back on the Sarkic season less than fondly, Siege of Gyros was a really fun episode, too.
Yeah, Cathedral of Bone.
A cathedral of bone and altar of bone.
Yeah, like that's just good. Like every now and then,
that's just good writing.
I wouldn't go that far, but I think that every now and then you just come across an entry that just has a bunch of really fun phrases you get to say.
Yeah. Sphincter. I think we said sphincter like 50 times.
Yeah, the S in SCPod stood for sphincter that day.
Exactly. Sphincter, protect, contain. SCP-SOD.
SCP-SOD. Kneel before sod.
Still no file? Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I wonder if it was checked out and just no one checked it back in.
Yeah. So back to 049. I don't know why we're fucking talking about SCP-55 here. But what do we still have this guy?
I hope so. I haven't heard otherwise.
I thought I remember hearing that he broke out.
Yeah, he does that every now and then, which is kind of why I think there was some discussion about making him Keter. But I think there's some stories about that. Who knows if any of them are true?
Yeah,
it's one of those things where I feel like the stories around 049 are what people remember more than the article itself.
Yeah, I think
it has been that mask problem, with the that one talking mask.
Yeah, or I don't know. I mean, even like the Yule Man, kind of.
Yeah.
Like the things the stories around him, kind of. Yeah.
Why do you think he's popular?
049?
Yeah.
Hentai. I think also there's a bunch of SCP media out there, and it is very easy to cast a plague doctor.
Yeah, that budget's gonna be real low. Like, you don't have to spend a whole lot of time on like prosthetics. You just need to find a gown and a mask and maybe a hat.
Exactly.
A pointing stick.
And as well, like plague doctors are also a very like edgy, cool thing nowadays.
Are they?
Yeah, especially since COVID. Are you kidding me?
I get maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen any more than I have before.
Yeah, I mean I've seen like people make plague doctor stuffed animals. Like there's a whole bunch of like internet horror ARGs with people wearing plague doctor masks, and I think plague doctors are just like on a generic horror side are just like a trope.
I guess
like if you want your thing to seem spooky, you throw a plague doctor in there. He gives you a quest, and you never see him again, and you're just like, I'm gonna draw hentai of you later.
That'd be actually kind of a neat thing from a game design perspective of like having one person early on who gives you a quest, and it's easy enough, but like you can never find the person to give the quest back and return it. And so you just have this thing in your journal for like 45 hours.
Yeah, and it's like collect 5 tomatoes.
Yeah, and everyone wonders if it's a bug, and then no one on the dev side ever comments on it.
That would be fun. That would be fun.
Like that I would enjoy that as a gag, and like just to fuck with completionists.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Does that make me evil? I don't know.
No, I think that's just fun gameplay.
Yeah, that's fun for everybody can enjoy.
Yeah, especially like if it's not. I kind of clash a little bit with like giving it as like an early quest. I think like you go into like a secluded cave that you had to fight like a horde of zombies to get to, and then there's this one guy that's like, I need 5 wilt seeds, and you go out there, and then he's like not in the cave anymore.
No,
but it's like a hidden quest.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's funnier if he's like in the very first town you go to. Like within like 20 minutes of starting the game. The only thing I would thing I would say is that like it doesn't count against, or like you make the completion, like you make the platinum trophy, something like that just title it something like, well, close enough.
Yeah. Wait, you forgot one quest?
Yeah, I think you forgot something.
Yeah. What if like you had to persuade him to like give you the quest because he's like, I really don't think you can complete this quest.
And just make it impossible to do. Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, fuck, dude, I can't find this.
But,
I can't find this file, man.
Yeah. Thinking about why it's kind of interesting as to why certain SCPs like take off more than others.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just like 049 is just kind of generic spooky guy.
Yeah,
and
he was in a
pestilence is a fun word.
Pestilence is a fun word. I won't deny that. But he's part of that early wave of initial entities the Foundation found or listed in the catalog. That I feel like he's a interesting set piece in other stories. But I don't know.
Yeah.
If I were a writer, I don't know what I would do with him.
You know, he kind of reminds me a little bit of the Sculpture.
Yeah.
Where like we're talking like a very basic guy. Like he just goes, he quote unquote cures people of this mysterious disease, makes them to a zombie, and that's what he does.
Mm-hmm.
But like the stories around him, and I think as well one of the big things is the audio logs. I think of the Lizard.
Yeah.
And how like he's very popular, and he has like audio logs as well, which that's going to be a fucking fun time to try and voice act for.
Yeah.
But the Plague Doctor also has a bunch of audio logs too, if I remember right. And I know many people have tried to voice act the Plague Doctor, and so maybe that's another thing is like the audio logs really make it pop as well.
I think one thing I really learned from doing this show is how much I really don't care for entries that rely on audio logs for most of the story. Like, I find that it actually kind of gets under my skin.
Yeah, I could see that. Before you say anything about 610, those were just transcripts. Those were not audio logs.
Well, I mean,
we just chose to go drug a bunch of people to make them audio logs.
well, people need to be more careful what they eat. But no, I just like, yeah, I don't really. I don't know. I mean, it's just they don't really float my goat.
Yeah, fair enough. Well,
help me find this goddamn file.
You know what? I think I'm just gonna go down to the vending machine. I think I'm gonna let you have your little panic attack in here, and
you asshole, you were sitting.
Yeah. Oh, was I?
Son of a. All right, we found it.
Well.